Does this color ring a bell for you? Maybe this, or this. Well, this is the Blue Album by Weezer. But where did this color even come from? Where did Weezer come in the first place? Well, let's find out. Rivers Cuomo was born in 1971. However, in 1975, his father left him and his mother. He attended Proudfit Community School. In 1985, his friend, Justin Fisher, would form the band Soon, inspired by bands like Metallica and Kiss. It had some amount of success, but not much. Forming Weezer with Patrick Wilson as the drummer, Matt Sharp as the bassist, and Carl Koch as the secondary guitarist. A few months later, they got signed with Gotham, with no albums and zero fanbase. It was a gamble and not a safe one, but they needed a producer. Among others, Rick Ocasek stood out. So they sent the demos to him, almost not expecting a response. But they did. He called the demos a puddle of mud mixed in with music. But they had potential. But to see that potential, they'd had to fly all the way over to New York. After multiple nights of debate, they decided to do it. After flying to record it was a struggle to say the least. While recording The World Has Turned and Left Me Here, they spent 6 hours alone on solo, and the defeated Cuomo lays down on the floor. But suddenly, a voice whispers in his ear. What about something like da 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 dee dee dee? That was the voice of Rick Ocasek, often considered one of the most important parts of the album. But nothing could last forever. After 4 weeks, they were very close to going over budget. And guess what they do after that? Fire the rhythm guitarist for having a girlfriend. Yeah, they were starting to go over budget, so the last thing you want to do is fire 1/4 of your band. Hey, Brian. It's Matt here. Oh yeah, you recording? Yeah, so, hey, can you sing? What's your favorite Star Wars action figure? Hammerhead. You wanna be a Weezer? Oh, hell yeah! Well, that was weird. And, by the way, the Star Wars question was a factor in it. You see, these were a pack of nerds who just kicked out the rhythm guitarist for having a girlfriend. And that's exactly what they needed. And it was flown to New York to be dropped in the last week of production. And finally, the album was done. Now comes the easy part, right? No. As they sat back and waited, something felt off. One day, while Cuomo was having a lunch with Todd Sullivan, the man who sang with Governor in the first place, he had nothing but praise, going as far to say as saying they're a comical band. For Rivers, this was a nightmare. In a Rolling Stone interview, he said, I seriously thought we were gonna be the next Nirvana. Worried that his message would not get across to general audiences, but he was not blindsided. He nearly scrapped the song Buddy Holly for that exact reason, but it was actually Rick Ocasek who convinced him to keep it. To quote Matt Sharp, we had a sense that it could be taken as a novelty song, and people aren't gonna take it seriously. But even songs like the Sweater Song, which reflected his, quote, darkest thoughts, was also seen by a comical lens. Rivers was starting to regret his choices. On release, the disconnect between listener and writer only became bigger. Not a massive hit on release, but it slowly climbed to 16 from Billboard's Top 200. Interviews from the time, Rivers looked uncomfortable with the fame. And on tour with the Blue Album, instead of rivaling in his fame, he wrote Long Time Sunshine.
Sometimes I wanna pack it all up, get on a bus and move to Vermont or Maine or any of those states back east that I remember. Sometimes I wanna go back to school, an East Coast college with some history. I'd be satisfied, I know, in the simple things.
Now back to the present day, where we discussed the album, right? Well, no. This album went through a lot of changes. But when Cuomo saw a Beach Boys cover called Do It Again, he could finally visualize the album. Before you know Rivers Cuomo, Matt Sharp, and Brian Bell, Pat Wilson, you know this color. This color is Weezer. This took 3 days to make.